Once upon a time, in a small village, there lived a sweet little girl who was loved by everyone who knew her. She was known for the red hooded cloak that her grandmother had made for her, and because of this, everyone called her Little Red Riding Hood. One day, Little Red Riding Hood's mother asked her to take a basket of food to her grandmother, who lived deep in the forest. Her grandmother was ill and needed some nourishing food to regain her strength. "Remember," her mother said, "go straight to Grandma's house and don't talk to any strangers." "I will, Mother," Little Red Riding Hood promised, and off she went. As she walked through the forest, she encountered a wolf. The wolf, who was cunning and always hungry, asked her where she was going. "I'm going to my grandmother's house," Little Red Riding Hood replied, not realizing the danger she was in. The wolf thought to himself, "What a tender young creature! What a nice plump mouthful! She will be better to eat than the old woman. I must act craftily to catch both." "Where does your grandmother live?" asked the wolf. "She lives in a cottage under the 3 large oak trees," Little Red Riding Hood said innocently. "I'll go see her too," the wolf said. "I'll go this way, and you go that way, and we'll see who gets there first." The wolf ran as fast as he could on the path that led straight to the grandmother's house, while Little Red Riding Hood took the longer path, enjoying the flowers and the songs of the birds. The wolf arrived at the grandmother's house first. He knocked on the door. "Who is it?" called the grandmother from her bed. "It's me, Little Red Riding Hood," the wolf said, imitating the girl's voice. "Lift the latch and come in," said the grandmother. The wolf entered, pounced on the grandmother, and swallowed her whole. Then he put on her nightgown and cap, and climbed into her bed, drawing the curtains around him. Not long after, Little Red Riding Hood arrived. She knocked on the door. "Who is it?" the wolf called out, trying to sound like her grandmother. "It's me, Little Red Riding Hood," she said. "Lift the latch and come in," the wolf replied. Little Red Riding Hood entered the cottage and went to her grandmother's bedside. "Grandmother, what big eyes you have!" she exclaimed. "All the better to see you with, my dear," the wolf replied. "Grandmother, what big ears you have! All the better to hear you with, my dear." "Grandmother, what big hands you have! All the better to hug you with, my dear." "Grandmother, what big teeth you have! All the better to eat you with," roared the wolf, and he leapt out of the bed to gobble up Little Red Riding Hood. Just at that moment, a hunter who had been passing by the cottage heard her screams. He rushed in, seized the wolf, and with one swift blow, killed him. The hunter then cut open the wolf's belly, and out came Grandmother, safe and sound. "Oh, thank you!" Little Red Riding Hood and her grandmother cried. The hunter smiled and said, "You should both be more careful. The forest is a dangerous place." Little Red Riding Hood learned a valuable lesson that day. Always listen to your mother's advice and never talk to strangers. And they all lived happily ever after.